Yeah.
Do you think that these rules relax with the SEC, like maybe during Trump's presidency, or is this maybe 10, 20 years in the future?
I think this is going to happen probably within the next 2 years.
You know, kind of the news right now is Cardano. Charles Hoskinson, you know, they kind of have similar models, Cardano and Bitcoin.
Right.
Would you see that as a competitor, or is this going to, you know, maybe utilize some of the same technology?
We're their partner. It was great to work with Cardano ecosystem. Cardano as being OG chain, they're trying to scale, through their smart contract model. They want a Bitcoin liquidity, right? So our BitVM bridge is the way and the solution to activate more Bitcoin liquidity.
All right, guys, we just got done talking to Charlie, and he's the CEO of BitLayer and is a Bitcoin Layer 2. So if you don't know what Bitcoin Layer 2 is, you don't know what Bitcoin virtual machine is, you don't know why Wall Street is bullish on this entire infrastructure and ecosystem, check this video out. Charlie gives all the alpha. Discover Crypto Crew, the Disco fam, we're here to talk about Bitcoin, DeFi, and we're going to break it down and just see what kind of growth are we expecting here. And I'm here with the CEO of BitLayer. You want to quickly introduce yourself?
Hey everybody, this is Charlie from BitLayer.
All right, so we got Charlie from BitLayer, and we're going to be talking about Bitcoin VMs or BitVMs. And so this is bringing DeFi onto Bitcoin, rolling it into so we can have other chains like SWI. I saw a big SWI announcement just happen.
Yep.
But what exactly is BitVM? What does this even mean?
Yeah, first of all, great question. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah.
Yeah, another year, another Bitcoin conference. So BitVM stands for bring the verification capability for Bitcoin, right? You know, some people call it Bitcoin virtual machine. You know, it's basically is a feature to using Bitcoin script, so as a Bitcoin code, right? The coding on Bitcoin network to empower them to do the use case like DeFi.
Okay.
So there's like lending, stable coins, trading dexes, right? On Ethereum. You cannot build natively on Bitcoin layer 1 because there's no smart contract capability. So BitVM is here to empower that, bring this trust minimized bridge to move the Bitcoin liquidity to across different ecosystems, as I mentioned, Cardano, SWI, and many other programmable, scalable, and layer 1s and layer 2s, and then verify the transaction.
All right, so just to back up, so BitLayer uses BitVM technology,
Yes.
and then that allows like smart contracts on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, who do you think the target audience is going to be for this? Because, you know, I'm not trying to be bearish here, but when I think about corporate treasuries, they have cash on hand. Are they doing any DeFi activities with their cash? Not at all. And so I don't see a micro strategy, you know, maybe utilizing this. So is this going to be a product for Bitcoin whales, or is it a product for MicroStrategy? What do you think here?
Yeah, great question. I just had a brief conversation with Michael Saylor yesterday in the...
Hold on. You talked to Michael Saylor yesterday.
Yesterday,
Was he wearing a black button-up shirt?
He was wearing the orange tie as usual, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure he was wearing a black button-up. It wasn't a clone or anything, you know.
He's real, right? He was there giving a keynote in the Bitcoin Investor Day. So a couple of things. With MicroStrategy and even MetaPlanet from Japan, right? They're in the same position that they're a public listed company. They work with all the big four, with auditing, everything, right? They have all these like financial tooling, you know, derivatives, right? With the bonds and stuff, getting a lot of the new liquidity, right? And then they're here to buy the Bitcoin, right? You know, just keep buying, spot buying the Bitcoin. But the Bitcoin position they're buying through the ETF, they can't really use that for DeFi or all the other asset management because the SEC has...
Yeah, the SEC probably wouldn't like that.
Yeah, they haven't approved the ETF staking. So until that, they can't really have the real on-chain Bitcoin DeFi strategy in MicroStrategy and MetaPlanet. That's where they are.
Well, I might be picking up something that seems kind of major here. Are you saying, I do think the SEC will allow Bitcoin ETF staking. I do think that is going to happen.
Time, yeah.
Do you think when those rules relax, that's going to open up more opportunities for BitVM and BitLayer?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, company like them, they're sitting on over 600 Bitcoin, 600,000 Bitcoin already, right?
That's crazy.
They are like crazy large amount of holding. If they can offer additional yield, even just like 2% on top of the Bitcoin holding, with the Bitcoin price movement, they have the assumption will go up. It's like an additional cherry on top, very important offering for the investor, right? So they can get a yield for that. So for these like a major whale clients. Yeah.
Do you think that these rules relax with the SEC, like maybe during Trump's presidency, or is this maybe 10, 20 years in the future?
I think this is going to happen probably within the next 2 years.
Ooh, yeah. All right. I'm starting to feel a little bullish here.
Yeah. This is with all the momentum we have, right? All the like stable coin policy and all that. I think next one will be Ethereum, ETF staking, and then Bitcoin.
Well, I know with Bitcoin DeFi, kind of the news right now is Cardano. Charles Hoskinson, they kind of have similar models, Cardano and Bitcoin.
Right.
Would you see that as a competitor, or is this going to, maybe utilize some of the same technology?
We're their partner. So our BitVM bridge is integrating with Cardano ecosystem with the layer 2 called Sundell. We made an announcement 3 weeks ago. It was great to work with Cardano ecosystem. Yeah, as probably a lot of the audience know, Cardano as being OG chain, it's UTXO chain, right? They're trying to scale, through their smart contract model. They want a Bitcoin liquidity, right? So our BitVM bridge is the way and the solution to activate more Bitcoin liquidity through our trust minimized way to enter Cardano ecosystem.
Well, I'm super bullish on Cardano DeFi, utilizing Bitcoin DeFi, and if you say BitLayers, partnering with these people, it's just making me pretty bullish itself, man. Any other messages for the Disco fam?
Yeah, well, we try to activate more Bitcoin holders, right? And another source of clientele we have is mining pools. So yesterday we just announced our major announcement. We're supported by 3 major top 10 Bitcoin mining pool, N pool, Static pool, and F2 pool. So all these 3 together have over 1/3 of Bitcoin hash rate. So over 1/3 of Bitcoin hash rate pools are supporting BitLayer. We're talking to Marathon and Foundry this week as well. That's very important to engage these mining pools because they mine Bitcoin every 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Those Bitcoiners eventually enter into the DeFi space will be exciting in the future.
Last question here. F2 pool, is it Justin Sun?
F2 pool, Justin is one of the small minority shareholder. Yeah.
All right.
He doesn't make decision on that.
All right. Well, that's all we got. BitLayer. We're going to have a link down below, and appreciate you hanging out, man.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you.